It's amazing how much mileage people can get out of the idea of a Muslim in charge of one of the public service of Britain, as though it's some sort of contravention of the natural rules of the universe. Witness, for example, the following. This gentleman is Sir Hamid Patel. He runs Star Academies, and the amount of commentary on channels about the horrors of a Muslim acting as the chair of the Ofsted board for a few months is hilarious. You think the man was sort of wandering around telling everyone to personally follow Sharia law or join the Taliban. It's quite ridiculous. He was only asked to sort of run it as an interim chair after the previous chair stepped down while they tried to locate a new chair. And he's stepping down let me have a look at the date. Today is the 28th. He's stepping down on the 1st of September. So he's got about 3 or 4 days left in office, and yet people are still going on about it in a ridiculous and frankly puerile fashion. He's been an interim chairperson for about 7 to 8 months, roughly. Actually, a little bit less than that since he started there in March. And yet, for some reason, you keep seeing his name pop up on channels with people going on how they are disturbed by it and how it's a dreadful thing. At no point has he done anything particularly huge. No, he knows he's an interim chairman, basically, to some extent, a placeholder. His previous role was as chairman of this organisation, Star Academies. And if you go and look at the Star Academy School, some commentators on that have tried to turn the Star Academy School into a sort of Muslim network, the way they described it. No. If you go and look at a list of the schools for Star schools, you'll find there's all sorts of schools there. A couple of Muslim ones, some Christian ones, some secular ones. But of course, all of this takes 5 or 10 minutes effort. And the kind of channels that are churning out stuff about Sir Hamid know that people simply won't make that effort. That all they have to do is put up a picture of Sir Hamid here in traditional Muslim gear, and it's like showing a red flag to a bull, and you can get nonsense going on it. And that's exactly what they want to do. This particular picture here has appeared, for example, on at least 3 channels I can think of, where none of those channels chose to mention the fact that Sir Hamid was stepping down in a few days and being replaced by Dame Christine Gilbert. Now, I doubt anyone is going to be going on about Dame Christine because Dame Christine is from a devoutly Catholic background. And unless we get the reincarnation of Ian Paisley running channels on YouTube or hardcore anti-Catholics, there's not much you can do to milk that one. Or unless someone starts suggesting a Jesuit network is running the schools of Britain, I can't see really much of a market for that, except it's an ultra niche product, perhaps meant to appeal to members of TUV over in Northern Ireland. However, there is a market for sticking a picture of Sir Hamid up here and going on about, oh, it's a Muslim in charge of Ofsted. Yeah, so what? I really don't see what the big deal is. It was a something over nothing issue. The man was there for a few months, interim chair. He has a reputation as a fair and just administrator of the schools he does run. And it seems as though people want to smear him. It's a very, very unpleasant business, which would be countered if people took 10 minutes of their time and thought about why are people doing this? And went up and looked at Star Academies and looked at their success as schools. But of course, as I say, yet again, that takes 5 or 10 minutes of time. And rage baiting channels that rely on popping a picture of Sir Hamid up there with a traditional set of Islamic gear on don't want people to do that. They'll just keep going on about how he's destroying the culture of Britain or something similar. And they'll do that to keep people upset and grumpy so they don't look for themselves. It's quite a funny game because it's often run by people who will purport to represent Britain at its best. And Britain at its best to me means a sense of fair play or honesty, not weasel words and game playing like that.